Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Canned Air, your tribute to pop culture. I am Jeremy Colley.
And I'm Jack Doherty.
And our guest today is somebody that we've been trying to get on the show. I shouldn't say been trying. We tried a long time ago to get on the show. And I can't remember the details of it, but we didn't get him. This time around, we got him. And he's an actor who you probably know best from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as Bulk, as half of Bulk and Skull, the comedic duo from the Power Rangers. And he remained on the show, I think, up to 8 seasons? Like, he was there for a long time through, many different iterations of the Power Rangers. And then after that, with the Power Rangers Hyperforce, which was just the all, D&D style role-playing Power Rangers series, he played Jack D. Thomas, one of the Rangers. He was the Yellow Ranger.
But so he is an honorary Ranger now.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
But and he does so much more than that. He's director, also into the printing, the 3D printing and imaging company, which was so freaking cool to talk with him about, and so many other things under his belt. But we welcome director and actor Paul Schrier to the show this week, and damn, what a great conversation. Right, Jack? I mean, we had a good time on this.
It was a good time. The time flew for that conversation.
It really did. When it started, I was worried. I kept watching the clock. I was like, I hope, I did enough here to fill the time. And then as soon as we got toward the end, talking about some of the UFO stuff, let that be a hint to keep watching. Boy, clock out the window. It went from 35 minutes to over an hour like that. I'm like, oh, crap. But it was a great time talking with Paulie. We talked so much about, his growing up in Vegas, getting involved with the Power Rangers, some of the directing jobs he's done, and also his interest in the UFOs, UAPs, some of the research he's done. Very rich episode here. So very excited for you guys to see it. But before we do, don't forget to find us on all of our socials listed above and on the website listed right here. We'll go more into that at the end of the episode because we don't want to keep you from this one any longer. So without any further ado, here's our conversation with Paulie Schrier. Ladies and gentlemen, Paulie Schrier. Paulie, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. It's an honor.
My pleasure, Canned Air.
Very excited, man. Obviously, we watched you so many years on Power Rangers, and it's always surreal being where we are, getting to sit here and talk to people like yourself. So we got a lot of questions for you, but I wanted to start back, of course, where you come from. I saw that you were born and raised in Las Vegas, Sin City. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your growing up, not only in Sin City, but just what your childhood was like.
Well, as you can imagine, when you grow up in an opulent city filled with temples built on the backs of the working men and women of this country, it might kind of pollute your ability to suspend your disbelief and gamble. So, hey, you got a white tiger, you got a dolphin that can do a card trick. I will pay for that. I'll pay for that prime rib. But not just to throw money into the maw of the beast.
Sure.
So that's what I got from being raised in Vegas. I got a healthy disposition to be cautious about, just.
You would have to be. I would. Yeah. I can't imagine. I wonder about people who are born and raised there who develop gambling problems simply because they were born and raised there.
I don't know. I think we all have our proclivities, right?
Sure.
I mean, all of us have our thing, and for some of us, it's just the chance of magic.
Right.
And Chris Angel, thank you. You're welcome for the career. You're good.
I haven't seen that guy in a while. Is he still doing shows?
He's totally still relevant, Jeremy.
His greatest trick was he disappeared for the past 20 years. I think.
No shit, right?
Nope. Don't make me spit take with my Chihuahua cup.
So what were you though, growing up? Like, what first got you interested in acting? Because, I hear you say in interviews, behind the scenes Power Rangers stuff, that yourself and Jason Narvy were very into theater and stuff. You were probably the only two of the cast that had that kind of background. So did that come in while you were a child, maybe young adult? When did that start for you?
Well, Jeremy, that's not entirely true. A lot of my castmates on the show, because of our long tenure, absolutely are experienced theatrical performers.
Okay.
But at the beginning, it was like skaters and bros, skaters and bros. You know, like we're like, we're not skaters, we can't do all that shit, but we are bros. So let's be bros. And so it was a challenge to join a cast with such really well intentioned, but in some cases inexperienced colleagues. There are some notable exceptions. Walter Jones, of course, Amy Jo Johnson, both had pretty robust careers ahead of their appearances in Power Rangers, and
Oh,
they
is that
didn't
right?
they didn't need us. They were well on their way. But hey, man, we were supporting characters, and I think that was that's the main context. Like when you kind of look at us and our approach to the experience, is they made us share a room, dude. They made us share a room for like 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you've seen
wow.
two straight men change their pants in the same room, right? It's like dipshits, like head of the corner, like, don't look at me. I'm changing my pants. Don't look at me.
Every week
You
when
turn
I go to
around,
the
I'm
gym.
kicking your ass.
That's why I try. I hate going to the gym in the winter for that simple reason, because I can't change before I go. I can't go in just my gym shorts because it's too fucking cold. But yeah, I'm curious though. Like, what kind of experience did you have leading up to that? Like, what kind of productions were you doing? What was your experience in theater?
Well, for myself personally, I was a stunt double performer for Louis Anderson for a couple of years.
No shit.
Really?
Mr. Anderson was representing a Midwest and East Coast purveyor of sporting goods called the Sports Authority, and he was their guy for, I don't know, it was like 5 years. It was a long deal. And so I would get tapped to come in and be the dude to put on the Velcro suit to like launch my fat ass against a wall. It's totally going to work, guys. It's going to work. and a lot of running, you know, but Louis was a very gracious man, and I loved him. So
Yeah, what a great comedian. What a great comedian. I loved that show.
Yeah.
He had that cartoon he had too growing up, Life with Louie. That was a good one.
that was brutal, man. It was brutal. That was hardcore.
Yeah, it was all based around things that actually happened to him and his family growing up, right? Like, so when you see it, you're like, damn.
Totally. Yeah. There's not enough hands for the children to cover their faces.
Sure, there was just a little bit of embellishment, just maybe this much.
Sure. So, as far as Power Rangers, then, how did that first come to you? Was it just simply an agent said, "Hey, here's this audition"? How did that first come into your life?
Yeah, totally. Well, back in those bygone years of acting, there was like a teletype system that every talent agent who was in good standing with the Screen Actors Guild would have installed in their office, and it was called The Wire.
Ooh,
and
high tech.
And any casting agent, they would initiate a broadcast on The Wire that would then go to talent agents in good standing, and they would then rip that off like a 1930s newsroom picture. Like, we got a hot one, kids. I need a fat guy with one leg in lederhosen. What do we got? And so they would look at their roster, and they would kind of choose people that they thought might be able to book it, and then that would go back via telephone to the talent agency. To the casting director. My apologies. And then you would get a call if you were chosen. And so I was lucky to have a series of invitations to be Louis, or, play with Seth Green in anti-smoking ads. The ironies are not lost on me.
Shit. With Seth Green, really? When was that?
Well, that was something 94 or something like that.
Wow. I'm going to have to look if that's on YouTube.
Oh, no, it is.
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I asked him for a cigarette, and he's like, "You don't want birth defects, do you?" And I was like, "Wait a minute. I'm the birth defect in this in this gag? Yeah. So I played a birth defect in a PSA against smoking with Seth Green. So there you
How
go.
many people can say that? And I didn't see that on your IMDb.
Do you know how many sock puppet accounts one needs to try to like smack down the info that you don't like?
Yeah, right.
I'm watching
Honestly,
the commercial right now.
No, you're not. Are you really?
It's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Send me a link. I'll put it in the episode right here.
A wide array of damage to the human body. Here's just a partial list of side effects. Number 1, lung cancer. Number 2, heart disease. Number 3, emphysema. I mean, asthma, strokes, bronchitis, pneumonia, death.
Hey, man. Can I bum a smoke?
Birth defects.
Hey man, can you bum a smoke? So bad.
Seth is wearing some kind of gas mask too?
Well, of course, he's in the bathroom at the high school.
Yeah.
With all of us ushers. Not sure the Germans will like that these days, but you know.
So when you go in then, when you go into audition, can you talk about what that process was like?
Oh, absolutely. And I've talked about this. You mean the Power Rangers casting?
I am, yeah.
Well, so when you get a time, right, in a given afternoon, and they're going to say, one can assume they're going to see 4 or 5 of you types of people, myself, I mean, and my appointment was rather early, and it was in downtown Burbank, and I was like, you know what? I'm going an hour early, and I'm just going to like pretend I didn't know. And then I totally bum rushed the first dude. I got there way before him, and they were like, "Oh, well, you're the third dude or something." Tony Oliver might be able to clarify this, but I definitely showed up early, and he was like, "All right, come on in." And then we were just doing fight reactions for that promo pilot that aired on that never aired on Fox, the one that was kind of the sell tool for Fox Kids.
Okay.
And that had our original Yellow Ranger rather, and of course No Skull, right? Because I was like Punk 2 or whatever, whoever I was, and he wasn't in there yet. But so I showed up early to the audition, and I had some choreography and fighting skills, and I was kept in place because the fighting was running smoother with somebody who could take a fake punch or a fake kick, and
right.
you know.
And,
So
not only that, you were all on that show, you were all over the place. Like you were doing way more than I could do even at a young age, like flipping over the bar at the juice bar, or just, I don't know, twirling, falling on your ass. You had experience leading up to this point, obviously, but damn, any serious injuries, anything like that over the years?
You know, honestly, my most serious injuries while acting have been doing Shakespeare, where I didn't hold the sword in the right spot as I stepped down like 3 feet and then stabbed myself in the back of the calf, you know,
Ooh,
like stupid shit, you know, like dumbass injuries. I mean, on Power Rangers, they were really cognizant of our safety in general.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you know, like a I don't know, like a White Snake concert, some of that pyro was a little close,
Mm-hmm.
but it you know, usually it was okay. And they were, if we ever had an issue of safety, we could totally raise the issue, and then they would generally ignore it and keep shooting, which is why we, right. I mean, that's television, right? We got to go.
Yeah.
You got concerns. We got to go. Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, I was on that show a long time, gentlemen. And one of the ways is I just said, yeah, let's do it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I had some colleagues that tried to do this, and it did. It's like,
right.
A little to the left, Hans Blick. You know, like, step onto the trap door.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and you were one of the, if not the longest running cast member on the show, right?
That was very smoothly delivered, Jeremy. No, in fact, I am the longest performing cast member on the series.
Wow. Incredible.
Until somebody manages to come up with a character that can transcend everything for 2 decades or something.
Well, it's incredible because I'm not going to say anything prolific here, nothing anyone else hasn't said a million times before, but you and Jason Narvy's chemistry on screen and off, like when I see you guys at conventions, like doing panels and stuff, totally, you guys just have a natural chemistry. And it's incredible how, I never realized how important it was to have that comedic breakaway from kind of like the seriousness happening in each episode, and they put out the, what was it? Power Rangers Once and Always within the past year or two. Great movie. But, and there was like a cameo, like a billboard of yourself and Jason Bulk and Skull, but it was very, very noticeable that there weren't those lighthearted breakaways throughout that movie, at least to me. And I'm not saying that to be an ass kiss. I truly mean that.
Well, let me put it back on you. Jeremy, you've been promoted to the executive producer of the Power Rangers franchise. Mm-hmm. We're flying you to New Zealand tomorrow. We hope your passport and your shorts are in order. What do you do with that series? How do you deal with a franchise that has so many iconic characters that you need Oakland fucking Stadium to house them for a meeting?
That's true.
What do you do? And really, I think you settle on characters that are truly iconic in the franchise. And I think that is what my colleagues at Nickelodeon, as well as the Saban organization, always strove to do. They didn't always know what was going to be cool later, but they tried to make the best and put the best foot forward, because you cannot feature that many characters. It's just impossible. Like, what you're gonna spend like $20,000 to fly us over? And believe me, I'm a bitch. I'm like, I need 2 first-class seats. I need that child to go back with her father, and I'm gonna like just lounge.
He's a diva.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. giant diva. But I will say this though. Once and Always, really, particularly for David Yost and for Walter, for Charlie Kirsch, who did such an amazing job. I mean, I love Kat in it, and I wish Johnny Bosch and my friend Karen would have been in it more. But
sure.
Then again, you see those kind of like truncated cameos, and that's where I'm like, oh no. Like, if that's what they got, then I know I'm going to be like a dude with a broom as a camera goes like sweeping by. And
standing way, 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 way in the back.
It's all good. I mean, listen, we know we're not the leads in the show. It's fine. They almost had a spinoff, but no robots in Kung Fu. Like, nobody cares. So.
Well, that was going to be my next question. I had heard you mention at a panel quickly about there was at one point the idea for the Bulk and Skull show.
Yeah, it was about a year-long effort. And are you familiar with Elvis, the Mexican Elvis?
No, I'm not.
He has been a famous individual since the late 70s, early 80s. And Elvis is an accomplished performer, and they postulated bringing that actor and his dog in and having him live in a hotel that we managed. So,
oh my God. Okay. That would have been interesting.
It's not an entirely unique storyline, as it's kind of like appeared in numerous iterations over the last decade or two.
Well, it makes me think of the spinoff to the Golden Girls, Golden Palace. Wasn't that what they had them doing, running a hotel with Don Cheadle?
Essentially. It's like Love Boat without a motor. So
it might have been a little bit better than that. Come on.
So of course they focus group tested it, and all the kids were like, "Where the robots at? Where the Kung Fu at? We don't give a shit." And the parents were like, "Oh yes, we love all the undercover jokes that you guys put in, but it's not going to really work." So.
Oh, that's too bad. I would have loved to at least seen like a pilot or something.
I don't know, Jeremy. I disagree, and Jason and I have this conversation every few months when he starts getting a little bit bitter. He's in academia, so I always tell him if we would have done that, we'd have been done in 9 months. And then you just get ejected into space. But instead, I had 3.5 more years on Power Rangers, while he went to go get his PhD. So it's really it's tough for him with his PhD that he has.
What's his PhD in?
It was English literature and of course the theater production. But I think the PhD is strictly speaking in English lit, because I don't think they're going to give you one for just putting on plays. work a lot.
Right.
I'm a doctor of the theater.
Yeah, he's a very accomplished educator, and I've had the great opportunity to sit with him numerous times over the years and do sessions with students and have them just kind of be like, what is happening in front of us? It's Laurel and Hardy, basically. It's the 90s Laurel and Hardy.
How cool, though. What a cool day in class that would be, right?
Well, what a great opportunity for an actor to be able to be those two dipshits, for a decade.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Totally. I agreed.
Now, I heard you also say in another panel that you actually worked behind the scenes on the Lionsgate Power Ranger reboot film. When was that? 2000? What was that? 16, 17, something like that?
That long ago?
Yeah. Yeah, that is 2016 is when all that happened. Yeah.
Wow. So what were you doing on the film?
Well, there's some uncredited and credited work in media between me leaving Power Rangers and where I'm at today. And one stint was 4 years at Walt Disney Animation Studios as a senior secretary.
Wow.
Get it? Senior.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was just a secretary. But and that was 4 years, and I worked on Home on the Range and a little bit of Lilo and Stitch and Emperor's New Groove, and on some of those pictures I'm credited as an assistant.
Wow.
And then thereafter I joined an amazing team at a company called Gentle Giant Studios in Burbank, California. Gentle Giant is well known for being a Star Wars licensee for many years, a developer of product prototypes for many customers. These days, and I have and am continuing to be an employee there. It's been 21 years.
I've been looking at that online, that place, and it looks pretty
Same here,
freaking awesome. It looks like you guys do 3D imaging for props and stuff in film. Would that be accurate, or am I just simplifying it?
Well, I mean, the latter. I mean, but Jeremy, think about the technology. You can do anything.
Yeah.
You can capture anything.
Yep.
You can shrink it. You can grow it. You can augment it. You can make it better. You can turn it into products. And so, of course, for the last 18 years, really, product development has been driven by this 3D revolution. At Gentle Giant, our first job in visual effects was on... I'm not supposed to talk about this.
Nope.
Fight Club. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So and so there's a particularly notable shot where one of the leads does a thing with a pistol, and so we were the scanning vendor that did the 3D scan of the actor that was passed to VFX, and we continue to perform that role in feature films and television. A lot of archival. Civil engineering these days, a lot of drone-based stuff, a lot of terrestrial mobile units going to capture people, places, and things. Larger areas are captured by LiDAR, mostly these days.
Wow.
You can still do amazing laser scanning of small objects as long as they're not breathing. But with photogrammetry, we can get kids... We've done capuchin monkeys and bears and jaguars and horses. Although you got to scan them in 2 shots. You got to get the front end in and then move them forward to get the asset in. Just like the costume.
That sounds like that would never get boring. That sounds like that would be consistently entertaining, a fun job to have.
Well, gentlemen, you are invited to come to our studio for a non-public walkthrough, but all the rest of the public, I'm so sorry.
I would love that. You know,
Absolutely,
it's a funny thing. Jack and I were in printing ourselves, and all that's, but we don't have a 3D area in either of our businesses. At least I don't think you do, Jack. Do you guys offer 3D at all?
No, I have for all my 3D stuff right here. So
awesome.
But yeah, well, no, we don't at work.
I get a sea of people calling all the time asking for, 3D scans of something they want to make. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I wish we could help. And there's no one in Columbus that I'm aware of that really does that.
I looked at it, boys, we know scanning is no fucking panacea. It is simply an iterative step in getting blocking geo that somebody has to lay new topography on that model every single time, no matter what the application, particularly for the end use, which is amorphous and we don't know. Are we wrapping this around a mug? Are we doing a bas relief, or is it a fully 3D thing? And some asshole's wife doing the lotus position in the garden in bronze. It's like, and this is how we go. But I will tell you this: we were owned by 3D Systems for about 6 years, almost 6 years, and it's about a decade ago. And we got 2 of their largest format SLAs. We have what was called the 9000 and what was called the 8000, but the 9000 is 2 meters by 1 meter by 1 meter.
Get out, man.
So I built T-Rex heads on it. Now it is only 2 lasers that shoot down over that 1 by 1 meter square. But the hot tub of resin underneath is ridiculous. Yeah. And anyone that's been splashed with that shit has had a gnarly chemical burn and like a good 2-week vacation. But when the thing comes up out of the primordial ooze, it's so bitchin'. And actually, if you go to our website, GentleGiantStudios.com, there are some videos that show builds coming up out of that machine that are kind of like just embedded in the site. So I love that, but my favorite machines are the multi-jet or the pro-jet, if you want to talk Stratasys speak. And those are the ones that really, the surface quality is so non-linear. It's almost sandstone-like. They're very fragile, unfortunately, as it is in this case, photo-catalyzed rather than laser-catalyzed, like on the big SLA. But we use this for everything figural. Anything that's like beyond like this, or right within that range. And then you just have to kiss the surface of faces and skin with like a little steel wool. And you can go give it to the painters. Painters are like, okay, we're good. It's so bitchin', man. So rad.
That's incredible technology, right?
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's been such a joy to have this second act in my life, for in product development. Yeah.
I mean, I can speak for, I think, Jack, when I say, speak for both of us when I say that printing is one of those jobs that seemingly never gets old. We've been doing it for years.
Yeah, it doesn't.
We love it, so can totally relate. I wish that 3D element was in our jobs too, because I would love to add that to everything we know. But
of course. But the great chasm that remains, my friends, is that fucking divide between IGES solid and random polygon mesh STLs. Like that ability to go like, hey, if it's a belt buckle, okay, great, you can automatically do that. It'll maybe work. But for anything more complex, and that's where we end up in conundrums with our customers, because a lot of the high-end customers come to us with CAD, and okay, we can polygonize that. We have a seat of everything, and we can just quickly like polygonize it. But does it do it accurately? Particularly we're talking non-uniform rational B-splines with like really like those tolerances. And then people look at their part and they're like, that doesn't look like my shit. And we're like, well, because you gave us a CAD file and you made us make it physically, which guess what? That doesn't happen without cutting steel in China or in Detroit or whatever. So, all right. Thank you for listening to my by manufacturing.
No, I love it, man. I planned on asking you about it because it was very intriguing. And I'll put a link to the website in the description for this episode so people can check it out.
Don't. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine too. At this point, it's been 20 years, so people know I work there. It's cool. But
well, it was news to me. That, like when you emailed me back, I was like, "What is this place?" And that's I was enamored by it. I've looked at it several times. It's pretty.
Me too, man.
Cool.
Me too. That's why I'm still there. Every day is a new challenge, and I've got some projects on board that I'd love to tell you about in 3 months after they street because they're awesome.
Maybe we'll have to touch base again in the future.
Yeah, when you guys come for a visit.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that place. I know we both would. Oh,
absolutely.
Like a kid in the candy store.
You guys are welcome there anytime, and bring more of your team. Bring 10. Bring everyone. Bring the family. It's awesome. Because in Universal Studios, you're right there. And then if you're a real sucker, you can go to Disneyland. It's going to be amazing.
I'm in. Well, okay, we've already touched on some stuff that I didn't know about you, some stuff I'm sure the listeners didn't know, and there's a few more things that I found online that were essentially just quick credits that didn't give a lot of detail I wanted to ask you about quickly. First, you directed 16 episodes of Hello Kitty, the animated series.
We got a problem with that? Like,
not at all. It was just so out of Christ. If someone asked me to do anything on the Hello Kitty cartoon, I'd say yes, sir. Where do I sign and how hard do I?
Totally. So first of all, this whole Hello Kitty thing, it begins with Robotech. It begins with Robotech and the actor who was the lead, who played Rick Hunter, and that is Tony Oliver, original Power Rangers producer and head writer for a number of years. Tony, at the end of Power Rangers production, offered me the opportunity to continue to work under the Saban umbrella on several animated properties, both as a voice actor and then in some cases as a director. And it was Hello Kitty's Paradise, I believe it was called.
Okay.
And so, yes, I did serve as director, working with a lot of the Harmony Gold actors and a lot of the people from Robotech that I was totally nerding on. At the time, I was like, oh, that's really good, Min Mary. What I meant was. But honestly, so Hello Kitty. And to this day, every time Hello Kitty comes on, my wife is like, so is all right. I'm gonna stop there. All right. Yeah. Hello. Some of Hello Kitty's friends are not the best kind of cats, that you want to hang out with. She's got like juvenile delinquent cat friends.
Oh, wow. Really? I wouldn't have expected that.
No. I know. You can't have an angel unless you have a demon.
That's the truth.
Makes sense. Yeah.
There's no darkness without light and vice versa, right?
Totally.
Wow. Okay, here's another thing I read, that you're a comic artist and that you worked on an Image comic called Red Star. Is that accurate?
It is. So there's a very gifted screenwriter, actor, singer, performer, Renaissance man by the name of Christian Gossett. I've known Chris since I was in college. A really prolific creator, and I had self-taught myself in the 90s to be a 3D modeler of architectural applications in the 3D application Lightwave. And it was purely recreational for me because I really liked building shit without having a bunch of sawdust that I had to clean up or a bunch of supplies I had to buy.
Makes sense.
3D was really kind of intriguing to me in that context. And then Chris had been working both for DC and for Image for a number of years, as well as on some novels as a ghostwriter and primary creative lead. And so he got an amazing property that was timely, and at this point, perhaps more timely. It was based in the Soviet epic and strange magic that powered that war machine. and I got to do 3D backgrounds for him so that he didn't have to draw every background for every shot. He would focus on the foreground characters and effects, and I would just give him the shots that we want. So we would often be sitting there in Lightwave messing with cameras and just moving cameras around a 3D environment, and then me rendering out that angle in the textured sense, and then also masking out different things, moving back towards in the plane of in the field of view for the digital colorist known as Snakebite.
Wow.
to work on. So Snakebite's an amazing colorist. He's still around today, and he's doing great work. So
what a name, Snakebite.
There you go.
Shit.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. So you're saying you would 3D render the background and sit down, move the camera around to find the perfect shot, and then he would lay his image with that backdrop.
Correct. I mean, I would get a general creative brief from Chris, and I would construct the environment, perhaps in several sections as needed for different uses, kind of downstream. And then as a director, Chris would jump in and sometimes move the camera himself to what he wanted. So,
wow.
That's
No,
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that kind of detail was happening in the 90s, man.
No.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, people are making comics on iPads and electronic pens, all that stuff. But in the 90s, yeah, I totally wouldn't have. Wow, that's awesome.
Well, maybe a little later than that, but Chris is a visionary director and a wonderful creator.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to look for that. I've never read that comic. I would be very interested in seeing your work. Is there any of that online, like specifically what you worked on?
I think you can find it. Yeah, I think there's a 10 or 15 episode series with a trade or two. Yeah.
Okay.
You can find it.
I'll be looking for it. Now, here's another thing. My friend Ryan, he knew you were going to be on, and he told me that one of our buddies who lives out in California, within the past few months, went to a comedy club and saw the Star Wars Holiday Special being performed live, songs and all, by a cast of people, which one of was you. Does this sound familiar?
Man, this is bullshit, man.
Busted.
Listen, America, listen, just because it's a fat man doesn't mean it's me.
It wasn't you?
Listen, I've been in this business for years, boy, and I've seen all 8 of us. We all look alike. Every time we see each other, we're like, "Oh, thank God you didn't wear the same shirt today." Like there is always a requisite cast of folks that play this type, and I'm not that guy, but I would love to see him perform as Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, wasn't me.
Wow. I can't wait to bust his nuts.
Yeah.
And if it was me, might have been a blackout.
Happens from time to time.
Occasionally.
Have you ever tried doing or thought about stand-up? I mean, when I see you at these panels, sometimes, you're moderating, but it seems like before the people you're talking with come in, like the Rangers or whatever, that you spend time one-on-one with the audience, and you are pretty damn funny, not only with Jason, but on your own as well. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?
I think any performer living on the coast, that has a chance to do some professional work asks themselves the same question. And yes, I did it. It was not good. And I decided I'd rather do Hamlet. And I did that. And that was easier.
Yeah,
so
it worked out very well for you.
Hamlet was, somebody wrote that shit. There's a whole arc. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to do Twister by yourself in a 1-bedroom studio.
Yeah. I've said it before on the show. It's something I've always wanted to try, but it's just laying your head on a chopping block, isn't it? I mean, you're just really putting yourself out there. I don't know. I mean, I put myself out there, but I don't know if I'm comfortable putting myself that out there.
I think the main question wouldn't be that, but how much time does one have in one's life given the current constrictions that we all have?
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's really enriching, man. it does enormous things for your soul to get together with some assholes and postulate some shit and then do it and then like hate half of them, have sex with two of them, then you're divorced. I love theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it can do wonderful things. But if you feel pretty secure, don't do it. Run for your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the first time I've heard that. Everyone's like, well, you just got to go do it, man. Just do it. You'll be happy you did.
I don't know that it's a lot of time. The time is that's where it gets weird with the family and they're like, what do you do? It's been 9 weeks. You're like, we're going to open next weekend. We're running for 7 shows. You'll be there, right? Yeah.
All right.
But I love it, man. I love theater. I mean, no doubt. It's amazing.
You still continue to do theater to this day?
Well, I'm acting like I don't want to choke a bitch right now. So how's that?
Wait, what? Did I say something wrong?
Not at all. That's just, listen, man, sometimes when you write a joke, you can't help but drop it at any opportunity. So.
Okay.
I honestly, listen, like as a recovering television comedian, people like sometimes people get this information through non-linear means. It's not because they meet me and they're like, oh, hey. No, it's because somebody said something to somebody, and then I'm in a social situation, and they're like, oh, so you're the Red Ranger? Have you been acting lately? And that's when I'm like, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Okay.
And for your information, I was the goddamn Yellow Ranger, and I had a fat booty.
You were the Yellow Ranger, and what was that? Hyperforce, which was
correct.
I didn't even know that existed, and again until I was talking to you. I'm sorry.
Don't believe the hype. Hyperforce.
No, boy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an old man, gents. I'm an old boy.
Jack, you if you haven't seen it, you dig it. It's all like it was on Twitch, like tabletop gaming Ranger Adventures.
I don't know, Jack. It was 75 hours. 75 hours of role playing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll send you a link to it or just Google it because you'd totally like it. No?
No, hey, listen, I lived it. But as an actor who has respect for the franchise, the biggest problem was, look, in D&D, what do? I kill everything. In D&D, we kill everything. We don't fuck around, we kill everything. But now you're playing Power Rangers D&D.
Yeah.
And you have to try to save the children. You have to save the civilians. And that was very challenging because a couple of my castmates did not really get that.
Chaotic evil alignment Power Rangers.
and it wasn't the Blue Ranger because he and I are simpatico. We love the IP. We love the property. We would never randomly try to kill people. But some of our other Rangers were not. So, cognizant of that. Role playing. So but it is fun. It's fun. It's nice to be a Ranger in canon outside of the comic books.
Sure, absolutely. And I've got to know because every time you see one of the actors who played a Ranger at a con, they got their helmet sitting there. Do you have a helmet from your character?
I do have a helmet for my character. But I had it 3D modeled at work by a very skilled colleague named Kevin Garcia, and then we did the 3D print, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to finish this. Like, I don't want to give this to someone else to paint. And so I have it unpainted in my office here. Yeah, so I have one. Yeah,
that's cool though. Yeah, you need to get that painted. Have it in the background or on your table when you go to cons or something.
Take it everywhere you go. Just walking around constantly holding your Ranger helmet.
I sure as hell.
How you feel about Bruce Springsteen, man? Glory days. Don't pass it back, glory days. I don't know. I think I'd rather just if I'm going to go full hog and like rob a bank, I'm wearing that.
There you go.
There you go.
Although if I turn my head too quickly, the helmet stays in the same position. And so I need one of those. I need a neck buffer or whatever you call it, like a neck gasket. You know,
there you go.
You know those white things that the actors wore? That was purely so that the helmet would move with their head.
Was it really?
Right?
Oh, don't you have the little headed people?
I didn't know that. I learned something today, man.
Yeah, you know what? None of the Power Rangers have big heads, and I mean that with love.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
One more thing we got to talk about really quick, man, is I found
No
your
worries.
YouTube channel, which is just listed as your name, but it looks like the title of your channel is the Revisitor Project, which, the description says that you post some of your own captured UFO, UAP footage along with, some funny things you've made, just whatever I guess you're feeling in the mood to put up. But it looks heavily oriented toward like the UFO, UAP stuff. So can you tell us a little bit more about your channel and, your interest in UFOs, UAPs?
You know what UFOs needs more of is some old white dudes talking about shit.
No doubt. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. And so I realized after Stanton Friedman passed away and we lost another couple of notables in the UFO, ufologist kind of milieu, that maybe I should put forward research that I had been doing for like 15 years.
Wow.
Out publicly. So technology has advanced to such a degree that the same tools that give people the ability to hoax footage is the same tool that a little bit before that studious people were using to do pure alignments of footage from the past.
I see.
And so something that's like super jerky, oftentimes some insight could be gained by stabilizing that footage. And so we're talking about, 10 plus years ago, very early motion tracking software. And that was primarily my vibe. I would spend many hours doing up-resed kind of clip versions of certain sightings that were old enough that I had a reasonable expectation that they were at least genuine at that time.
I see. And
man, I mean, since 2017, there's been a lot of revelations that have come out from the U.S. government. And it really, there's the preponderance of evidence as to the existence of something anomalous is pretty undeniable. And it's really just a question of what do we know at this point and how can we move forward? Because the real poison pill is trying to hold people to account for the past, and the past is that. And at this point, I mean, one more giant ship comes down over Phoenix, and I think the whole thing kind of drops, right? I mean, everyone's got cameras now, everyone, and so I am intrigued, frankly, about what is really, in my opinion, one of the most weighty issues for our species, which is coming to reality about non-human intelligence and what that might mean for us. And maybe we should stop killing each other for a little while just to see what happens. You know? I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say all that, 2017, the Pentagon releasing all that footage, which again was, crazy to see, but it wasn't long after that the James Webb telescope starts sending us back these images of deep space and the hundreds of thousands of different solar systems that all fit into one picture. You would have to be pretty fucking narrow-minded to look at all of that and think, we're the only life out here. We're the only intelligent life out here.
Yeah, well, James Webb has shown us some more disturbing shit than that, which is our cosmological model is essentially broken. Space-time is a conjuration of meat puppets trying to figure it out. And I mean, like I love the super deep field gravitational lensing effects that show items being displayed around other blocking structures. It's really fascinating. I think we're going to learn so much more from James Webb. And man, I never thought I'd love a hexagon more.
Yeah, right.
I'm so into James Webb. I don't know who James Webb is, but if he was in here, I'd give him a healthy smack on the ass.
Absolutely. I mean,
good game, James Webb.
Those images are so fucking incredible. When they started releasing them, they looked like old 90s Trapper Keeper covers. You know what I mean? Like
what messed me up? The deal with what was messed up about Hubble is that on Hubble, all of the imagery raw files were available to the public, but you had to be like a rocket scientist to understand how to process those files into something that you could look at in either CMYK or RGB. It was a huge math leap. And then at the very end of Hubble's life, there are some individuals that were releasing Hubble-based materials with really wild contrasts up on some of the different elements, and it just got a little silly.
I see.
And then of course James Webb comes out, and you're like, okay, well, I guess it could get even sillier now that we're seeing,
Yeah, it doesn't look real. It's hard
billion.
to get your head around what you're looking at and knowing that is reality. Like, it looks like something an artist made in a garage for a TikTok channel or something. You know what I mean?
Totally. Well, it's a great look at a moment in time 4.4 billion years ago or something.
Right.
Seriously, yeah.
So what was it then that first got you interested in UFO, UAP research? I would have to imagine it was probably a personal experience.
It was. Yeah, it was. So when I was 9, I was living in Las Vegas in a mobile home with my father, Paul Sr. And I was kind of sitting at the kitchen table looking past him at the kitchen window, which was a pretty small, like 18 by maybe 24-inch tall window with 2 panes. And I could see, I had a clear view of this guy, and we were eating stew. And as I looked up, there was like a $50 sized circular object that moved pretty slowly across that field of like 14 inches, 18 inches. And it was roiling. The exterior of it was roiling like a plasma. So it was a sphere that was dull orange with hotter kind of like tendrils kind of moving very close to the surface. And it went right past the window. And of course I'm eating, but I'm like doing this. And then I practically fall off the table. My dad's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, Pop, there's that. And he's like, don't talk with your back wall. And I'm like, it's killing me. And then it was gone, and I couldn't adjust anymore to see it. And he said, don't worry about it. It's probably a meteor. But it was way too slow.
Yeah.
And of course, growing up, in the 80s and into the 90s. So in 1990, I'm 20, right?
Sure.
And so I've been hearing about UFO stuff out in the desert in Vegas outside my hometown. And I started to take interest in that based on that. I do have a really cool story to share with you. And it's kind of a bit of a pill to swallow, but during those years, starting in 1989, there was the KLAS George Knapp broadcast of Bob Lazar, and he was first anonymous, and then he kind of came out because he claimed that they were after him, etc. But once that hit the airwaves, that spawned a whole tourism industry to Southern Nevada, and I have a very close friend who is not in good health today, who I've known for over a decade, who is a resident of the Portland, Oregon area. And he was the repository for videotapes of people in his region that went down outside the limits of Area 51 and shot footage as tourists.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
And so these are, it runs the gamut of smart people with tripods to dipshits going handheld. And there's like 14 or 18 videos. And what they look like is black with a white dot going, just craziness. And the ones that are tripod based look pretty familiar if we've up against other sightings that have been made over the last 20 years. But I was lucky enough to connect with this older fella he's doing okay. He's not doing great today, but he shared with me his footage, and I worked to do analysis, slowdowns, and frame isolations for him. So it's not super spectacular footage. It's just a white dot moving on a background.
I want to see it though.
But man, is it moving! It's crazy. It's the falling leaf syndrome. It's the step up and then falling leaf down, and then transverse and then falling leaf down. And it's very similar to some material that's out there in market today.
So, and again, this is just something that was in the atmosphere above Area 51 being filmed from outside the limits with handheld cameras.
Correct.
So,
yeah. Now these are the tourists. And right now, as I recall, there's 14 of them, and I have about half of those videos. So,
have you watched the documentary that came out fairly recently on Bob Lazar?
Which one? Which one?
Good point. I can't even remember what it's called. A guy's following him, trying to get his story, and Bob's only given parts of it because, like you were saying, at first he was anonymous, and he started to kind of come out, and he has still always been very, very careful with what he says. He won't answer everyone's questions, seemingly, but the question of the anti-gravity element kept coming up. And
so you're talking about the Jeremy Corbell documentary with Mr. Lazar.
Okay, all right, that must where toward the end, he's asking him again about it. And Bob finally is like, just leave your phone and stuff here. Seemingly, they go take a walk in the woods away from all kind of media where he kind of lets up that Bob has said something to him or let him know something he wouldn't on camera. And then the next day, the FBI are there again, like all up in Bob's business, going through everything.
Well, I don't think it was an FBI visit per se. I believe it was the same day.
Oh, was it?
Oh, it was Department of Energy because of Bob's company purchasing certain supplies for resale that were nuclear in nature.
Oh.
But I'm familiar with the story and honestly, I don't think that either Mr. Corbell or Mr. Lazar have ever outright said, we're holding some piece of some mystical material that now has already been invented. But it certainly made for good UFO documentary drama.
It sure did. And, that's what kept going through my mind when I watched. I was like, come on, man, this is all a little too convenient, and it's all ramping up a little too conveniently, for the sake of entertainment to have actually happened like this. But
what's better is that white machine with silver pins that reads your bone structure.
All that you lay your hand on to get in the front door or whatever.
That is way more interesting to me because there's a lot of corroboration for that thing being present out on the range or should we just call it out in, restricted airspace and ground space out there. There's numerous people that have talked about that device. And this is just one of those. I mean, God, who knows what the real story is here. But I think the fact that there are numerous public videos and some of the heat that's been put on some journalists recently for talking about certain things and certain organizations within the Defense Department and the Navy and CIA,
Yeah.
I think somebody owes us an explanation sooner or later.
Especially, was it just 3 days ago? They released footage. I believe the Navy released footage that they had captured in 2023 of yet another tic-tac shaped vessel or something off the coast of California. Second time we've seen something like this. And the footage that they were showing online did not look nearly as clear as the original footage of the tic-tac shape above water, kind of darting back and forth, doing those cross things. But, there's continuity. There's continuity being shown.
Yeah, well, certainly structurally, it appears to be interesting. I'm always enchanted about material science here, which is why I love all of the talk about where certain material science advances originated from the military industrial or military complex, such as nitinol, or even some of the Battelle work on titanium and bismuth. Metals. I mean, honestly, I'm fascinated by this stuff. So I could go all day and talk about that.
Oh, we're going to have to do that sometime, man, because I could too. I could too. It's funny I mentioned the Phoenix Lights because that was kind of my entry point to it. I mean, we were X-Files and all that stuff was kind of around, so aliens were still very much on people's radar. But when that happened, I remember seeing that live, being at home watching television. It was like breaking news to bring you coming out of Phoenix, Arizona, something in the sky. And they just had a single camera fixed on the lights as they would slowly be appearing. And then it was gone. There was no internet to go to, no phone, nothing. I just prayed that the next night it would be on the news, which it wasn't, and never heard anything about it again until years later.
It's funny, that your statement that you just uttered, that so many people have said that in the Valley.
Is that right?
So many people have said, I cannot believe that I didn't hear about this the next day. Yeah, totally, man.
Especially the further you get into the future, where there are so many different accounts of people from throughout Phoenix who saw it, and how many of their stories all line up. You know what I mean?
Well, not just that, brother. It's the north to south confirmed military and civilian radar tracks, and the fact that all that stuff at 10 is flares. Of course, the military sent up some A4s and dropped some flares or some drones, because at 8:34 the thing was already gone. So it's a very interesting sighting. I love the discussion from the folks that were up on the hill as it came over, because they were so much closer to it, because its altitude was lower because of the topography. And the family doesn't speak anymore today. I think they've said enough for themselves. They're just trying to live
their lesson.
Yeah, totally. But pretty awesome. I often imagine, as I look at the morning sky when I'm going into work, I'm like, what if I were to see a giant 1 mile wide thing? And I would probably graduate to depends very quickly. We just stop by the Walmart and get some more diapers.
I think I'd be on that list too, man.
Right.
But Paulie, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be here and have this amazing conversation with us. Before we let you go, I know you're on Instagram at Das Bulk, and we were just talking about where you're currently working. Again, was it Gentle Giants?
Well, it's a Gentile. So it's a large Gentile.
Okay, did I get the name wrong?
I'm sorry. I'm obfuscating. It's all good.
Okay.
But look, hey, Canned Air, you guys are awesome. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today and to talk about the past and things that I think are important in our world. And I look forward to doing it again. And hey, to all you Power Rangers fans, thanks for watching all these years.
That's amazing, Paulie. We will definitely do this again in the future, and I promise we'll spend some more times on some UFO talking, because I want to do it. So thanks so much, man.
Jack, if you're being held against your will, I can call someone.
No, I'm good.
Seems that way, doesn't it? Talk, Jack, talk.
I'm the Andy Richter to Jeremy's Conan.
Gentlemen, all the love. Thanks.
Have a good night, Paulie.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, and that was our conversation with Paulie Schrier. We hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did, and I want to thank him so much for taking time to be here today, and hope we get to do it again in the future. And Jack, we got to go take that tour. We got to
take that tour. Yep.
Of that 3D printing company. It sounds incredible. The size of some of those printers.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
And then afterwards, we can retire to somewhere for dinner and just geek out on UFOs the rest of the night, because boy, oh boy, was that fun to talk with him about.
Man, he is into it with the like research and stuff and doing.
I loved it. Yeah,
he's deep in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I would love to get him on just to talk about that. You know what I mean? We've already covered Power Rangers and stuff. Let's get him back on in just. That'd be a great Halloween thing to do too.
There you go. Like, or after, like, if there's some like big sighting or something that happens.
Yeah.
We'll again, get him on it right
next
up.
time there's an event like the Phoenix Lights or something.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, once again, huge thanks to Paulie for being here. Find him on Instagram at DasBulk, D-A-S Bulk. And I'll also put the link in the description for the place he works at. What was it called again? Was it Gentle Giants?
GentleGiantStudios.com.
Yeah, GentleGiantStudios.com. We'll put a link in the description down below because it looks amazing. And I really hope he's being sincere with that invite. We just got to get our asses to California. That's the biggest
we're
thing.
Here to see our friend Paul. He said to stop by.
We're good friends. Good UFO pals.
Wear a Canned Air shirt so when we get there so he'll know.
Just head to toe in Canned Air stuff and he's still
he'll be like, oh, God, these guys really took me up on it.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, big thanks once again to him. What a fun episode this was. Hope we get him back in the future. But until next time, Jack, why don't you tell these lovely people where they can find us, sir?
Go to cannedairpodcast.com where you can listen, like, follow, subscribe, become a patron, get some merch, follow us on all our social medias, and if you'd like to be a guest and promote your work, send us an email on our contacts page.
Don't forget to find us on Instagram at canned_air and on TikTok at Canned Air Podcast. And the website Jack was just talking about, cannedairpodcast.com, also listed here. There's a merch tab and a Patreon tab, 2 ways you can support us and get something in return. Obviously, the merch tab, you're going to get t-shirts, mugs, stickers, hats, hoodies, stuff like that with our logos on it. And then also there's the Patreon tab where if you don't want stuff, you just want more, what am I talking about? What am I saying?
Content.
Content. Thank you. I want more content. I don't know why I was so lost for the word. That's where your place to go, because there's, 4 to 5 years now of content on Patreon. That's, I think, at $5 a month, well worth your money. And
absolutely,
we say stuff over there, talk about stuff over there we wouldn't dare talk about on here to the general public. So it's kind of looking behind the curtain with Canned Air.
Not like stuff that would get us in trouble. But
No. Well, maybe. Shut up. I'm trying to entice them. Yeah. Just $5.
Go see. Yeah.
You'll see. Just come on. But anyway, I think that's going to do it, unless you had anything else, Jack.
That's all I got.
That's all I got, too. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, and be excellent to each other.